What's up, everyone? It is your girl Beaute7 here, aka Grace, and today we're gonna get into a do you really need video. So I know I haven't done one of these in a minute, but there was nothing that really spoke to me where I felt like I should give y'all a video on it. Plus certain things I knew people were just gonna buy anyway. Like I knew even if I gave y'all a video on Natasha Denona, I need a nude palette that most people were gonna buy it anyway. Of course I'm not talking about the people who look like me, because y'all saw that brown people. But like other stuff that came out that I feel like people were just gonna buy anyway, I didn't waste my time on. But this one I was like, I know Colourpop been gone for a minute, and I know you might just be excited that they came back, but that don't mean you need to buy this collection. So I'm gonna show y'all a picture of the collection and, you know, talk about it, and then we're gonna get into the palettes I have to tell you that you don't really need it, because it's one palette in particular that I immediately thought of when I saw the collection. I was like, y'all told me y'all bought that palette, so if you bought that palette, girl, go grab that palette. Don't give Colourpop no extra coins. Don't do it. So now you've seen the footage. I know I put the, what is it, the B-reel or whatever, or the screenshot or the screen video from Instagram showing the collection and why you don't need it. But now we're gonna get into why you don't need it. Because you got this Lethal Cosmetics Night Flower palette. This is one of my all-time favorite palettes from them. And this is what she looks like. Now tell me she don't look like what I just put up on the screen. Mine is like, you know, the cool tones. Because they have more like cool tone taupey shades in there. Whereas this one is leaning just more of the true purples too with the blue. But it's still purple and blue. And that's what the majority of that palette is. It even has like a little light tone shade. Now their light tone shade is lavender. This one's more of like one of those bone colored little shades that I don't ever really use. But you still have like this lighter purple here like they have. And you still have like some other tones of purple in here in addition to blues. You just don't get the taupes. But you have a nice transition shade if this works for your skin tone, or for those girls that are my skin tone who like to put this all over the lid. This is your Haunted Mansion by Colourpop palette right here, and this one costs more, so you need to break it out and use it, girl. Pull it out and be blessed and use this, because honey, it's giving I'm living. I love the color story of this. If you all want me to do a video about do you really need or why you don't need, let me know about between the palettes that I'm showing you now. But this is like one of my favorite blue purple palettes in my collection. I recently filmed a video on blue, green, and purple palettes and how I ranked them or whatever, so you can catch that coming soon. But this is why you don't need it mainly. Like if you already have this palette, I don't feel like you need that, because it's like I'm sure you can pull taupey shades from another part of your collection. And if you don't, and you have the pretty, what is it, Petite Matte Cool palette, or just the Matte Cool palette from Vidyard, because this thing was always sold out. It took me forever to get this. Then again, you don't need that, because what is this? Just about all those same tones I just showed you. The downside of this is there aren't any shimmers, so it's like maybe just get the Super Shock shimmers from that collection, or just dig through your singles to get it. But if you have this palette, again, you don't need that. This is the same color story as that. It just doesn't include any of those, the shifting dual chrome shimmer that's in there. But again, if you have some singles from indie brands, you can just bust this out and use those and call it a day. You don't need to buy that palette. You don't need it, girl. This has those same tones. I will say I was disappointed in this purple in the palette, though. This deep purple, it truly let me down, because I thought it was gonna do so much better. That thing is so damn patchy. I was like, I just can't. I was truly disappointed by it. But the next one I have, my friend let me borrow this from her. This is the LH Cosmetics Daybreak palette. Yeah, this is a good alternative for that palette. It has a lot of those same colors. This has that type of shifting blue to purple shift in the shade. So if you were interested in that tone in particular, you got these two light purples just like in that palette. So this to me is a condensed version of that palette. Y'all know I don't purchase from this brand personally. However, since my friend had it in her collection and it did look really similar and make me think of this palette when I saw that palette go, I figured I would go ahead and show it, because you might already have it in your collection. You might not have the opinions on the brand that I have on the brand, so I wanted you to be advised, and if you had this, to remind yourself to pull it out instead of trying to buy the Colourpop one. I mean, we know Colourpop is affordable, but it was $24 and you already have these same color stories in your collection. That's like, for me, that's like half a tank of gas. So I'm like, I really had to have a tank of gas to get where I need to go instead of buying another palette that looks similar. I've been trying to cut down on it, if y'all haven't noticed. I feel like I haven't been doing as great of a job, but at the same time, you know, like since I do review and I do a lot of these videos for you all comparing stuff, that's my justification. But yeah, so if you have this one, then you might not want to necessarily have to worry about getting, you know, the Colourpop one. But I'm not trying to knock anybody if you do choose to get the Colourpop one. Even if you do already own these, it's your money, girl, and it's your business. It's just, I'm trying to manage you with stuff that you already have so that you don't go out and buy some more stuff. Now, these other two, in my personal opinion, are just similar. They're not exact, but the first three I feel like are the ones that are most exact to that particular palette. Now, these other ones are just alternatives, if you will, because they don't have every single color in there, like the She's and Parties palette I'm about to show you. If you all remember, I recreated mine, so I somewhat feel like I'm cheating showing you this one, but to me it has some of the similar tones in it. Like the only thing I literally added to this palette, I think, is this shade right here. So the only shade I added was this one right here, and it's the blue to purple shifting shimmer. The rest of these tones were already in this palette, and I feel like this could be a good alternative for you if you're interested in those tones, because I do feel like it has some of those like deeper, like purpley mauvey tones that you saw in that first palette I showed you. Now, I don't think they have these deeper tones right here. Melt has a tendency to put a lot of deeper tones in here. As you can see, half the palette is deep, but I appreciate at least like this time had some of it was shimmer. This was, I think, a deeper shimmer if I remember correctly from their brand, but I just changed it out for this shade from some indie brand. I don't remember which one it was, I'm sorry, but yeah. So this one to me is another good alternative. It's not exact, that's why I started saying alternatives with these last two, because I know they don't look exact, and that's okay. But next I have the Berries and Cream palette right here. I feel like this could be a possible good alternative as well, because she has like this cool tone taupey shade here. She has some of the like lighter purple. She does have a little bit of berry tone, but she still has a blue. So again, this one wouldn't be an exact, this is an alternative. And please, unfortunately, this palette has been discontinued, so you're not going to be necessarily able to find it on her website anymore. You might be able to find it on Mercari or Poshmark. I was pulling this one out mainly for the people who already have it, so you won't necessarily feel like you have to rush out and get that one. That one does have quite a bit more purple than this one does, but you know, that's all I have for you right now. I kind of want to swatch some of these shades beside each other, like especially this LH Cosmetics palette, since I have to give it back to my friend and I don't really own it. So I'm gonna look up the palette right now and then see if some of these shades are similar to those shades. Did I screenshot it? No, I gotta go to my Instagram saved file. Hold please. So sorry. So unprofessional. But that's okay. So yeah, so I feel like a lot of some of the tones in here are similar. Like yeah, like this light blue right here and this purple definitely looks similar to that palette I showed you all earlier. Anything else in here similar? Not from what I can see. I think it's cool that that glitter that I showed you all closed in the dark too. That looks amazing. And those Super Shocks look really nice. Yeah, so it looks, they look pretty similar in my personal opinion. I don't know. Maybe I should let you focus on that. Yeah, see, I feel like the palettes look somewhat similar in tone. And you see what I'm talking about with the blue and the purple? Yeah, those both definitely look really similar. Too bad I can't swatch that and compare. Now let's put up against the LH Cosmetics one, because I feel like this one isn't giving as much. But that's what both of them look like side by side. So I feel like it's giving alternative, not necessarily exact. But these were just the exact palettes I thought of when I looked at it. So that's why I'm like, I want to share them with you. And then of course we have to do the Viseart Petite Cool Mattes palette, because I feel like they look really similar as well. I hope my lights for my phone isn't watching that. Okay, there we go. See, I feel like those look pretty spot on. Like I feel like this is the most spot on one, but the unfortunate part is you don't get any like shimmers with it. You just get all mattes with this. So those are the three that really spoke to me. I'll show it against the other two too, since we're here, you're here, everyone's here. Y'all know the drill. So this one I feel like isn't giving as much of what I thought it was. Now that, you know, they're side by side. Yeah, to me this is giving more berry than it is the purple tones that this one is giving. So Sorry about that. I thought they looked somewhat similar when I looked at them. And when I put my thumb on the blue in the middle, I feel like it would look similar. So if you took the blue out of the middle of this palette, it really looks quite similar to this palette. You just don't have the fun sparkly blue. The last one we have to show, of course, is my Berries and Cream. This is one of my favorite Dominique Cosmetics palettes still to this day. So that's what it looks like. Do they look similar to you? They look somewhat similar to me. I don't know. But yeah, so I'm feeling like the first 4 I showed you look the closest, and then this one is the one that looks the least closest, which is why I put it at dead last, because I was like, I don't know if they're gonna look exactly the same, but I felt like they look close enough for us to talk about it. So those are the palettes I had to show you, talk to you about. I wanted to make sure that I showed them side by side so you could see what each one of them looks like next to each other, since I don't have the actual palette, but I felt like they looked close enough. So I put in my little reel and all that. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful and helped you save some money. Remember, you all are diamonds, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Be blessed, girl. Bye.